Alright, so, welcome finally to the Attack on Titan Q&A. This was going to be out earlier this weekend, but, well, last weekend, I guess, at this point. But yeah, Comic-Con happened, and, well, I decided to push it back. Anyway, so here we are to talk about here we are to do the Q&A. And also, a couple things. If I did not answer someone's question, that usually means either YouTube marked it as spam or something else happened to it. And two, the other thing is that in case the mic sounds a little distorted, that's because my fan is on, because it does get very hot in my room. So, yeah, if the mic sounds a little distorted, that's because, well, yeah, the mic's, the fan's on, so I apologize for that. But it's either that or, die of heat stroke, so I think my options are pretty open right there. So anyway, let's get started with the questions. So let's get started with George Puldillo, hope I'm saying that last name right, who asked, what would happen if Attack on Titan was in the Zoids universe? There'd be some serious Zoids smashing Titans. Attack on Titan finds Gundams, and what would be the reaction to driving one? It'd be awesome, now let's kill some Titans. That's kind of the general consensus right there. It'd be, let's just use them to kill Titans. Attack on Titan cast with Ruby weapons, what would they have? No idea, because I still haven't watched Ruby. Sorry, I still have yet to watch it. And now it's kind of like everyone forcing me. Now it's starting to feel like a chore, and I don't like doing that. Everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta watch Ruby." You say, "Don't force me to do something, or I'm gonna end up not liking it." That's the thing. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Let's move on to Billy McCary, who, I hope I'm saying that last name right, who asks, what is Attack on Titan, and would they, and yeah, Attack on Titan is an anime with giants who eat people. That's kind of it in a nutshell. It did cross over with Marvel Universe. I don't know how a DC and Power Rangers universe would cross over, and yes, there actually have been 2 live-action movies, neither of which were good. So there's all your questions right there. Anyway, think of those questions. Billy, moving on now to King Nazaru, who asks, how do you think Levi would react to all the people saying that his fighting style is based off of Final Form Sora's style in Kingdom Hearts 2? He'd just been like, whatevs. That's what I feel like Levi would be like. Levi or Levi, I guess both are acceptable. I guess Levi would just be like, whatever. Alright. What lengths would you go to bang the female Titan's ass, and how many rounds would you go? Probably none. Probably none. Third question. Which would be worse than an attack from the Titans or an attack from the real version of Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra? Probably the Titans, because you'd probably die a slow death. With the God cards, it would just be like, boom, instant, universe over. I mean, neither which I want, but still, if I had to choose. Anyway. So moving on now to Tanuki Toad 979, who asks, Ultraman, Gamera, or Godzilla appear in Attack on Titan. Which do you prefer to see and why? Godzilla, hands down. Godzilla, because, yeah, seeing the Titans get completely evaporated by his radiation breath would be awesome to see, in him fighting the Colossal Titan. Although it depends on which Godzilla, because if it's Showa Godzilla, then he and the Colossal Titan would probably be around the same size. But if it's like Heisei or Millennium God, or the other versions of Godzilla, he'd be the Colossal Titan would be dwarfed by him. Especially the Legendary. So, think of that question. Tanuki Toad, moving on now to Shank X, who asks, which Titan has been your favorite design? Well, I know you said you didn't know if I read the manga or just watched the anime. I just watched the anime for Attack on Titan, so I don't know the other Titan designs out there. But I will say that the Armored Titan is really looks badass. I will openly admit that the Armored Titan is probably one of the coolest things monster designs I've seen in a while. Well, humanoid monsters. And I was like, God, I want to see the armored. This would be a great matchup. Armored Titan and Female Titan versus Gyra and Sanda, the Gargantuas. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Second question. What is your opinion on the society they have inside the wall? And do you agree with it? Not really. It's very totalitarian and very elitist, but it's the only government they have, and it sucks. What is your opinion on the story so far? I like it. It's really depressing, and Aaron can grate on my nerves sometimes. No, really, with all of his shouting, be like, I want to kill all the Titans even though I am a Titan. Yeah. And also, you could say that, oh, he's just this way because he saw his mom get killed by a Titan. To which I respond with, no, he's always been kind of a really edgy guy. Like, you could just see him in the corner before he even met Mikasa. He was like, angst, angst, angst. Whatever. Also, can we just have antagonists who actually, our three main protagonists, just be like, sane? Can we do that? No? Alright. Also, I want to know why, and I know this question's going to be, this question may come to me later, but I want to know exactly as to why, the Titans eat people. If some of them are humans, why are they doing this? Anyway. So, thank you for those questions, Shank X. Moving on now to Burnouter7, who asks, what Attack on Titan characters do you think would be most likely candidates to get a Green Lantern ring? Probably, Aaron would probably get a Red Lantern ring. That little boy's full of anger. I would even venture a guess that I think the one who would get the Green Lantern ring, maybe Mikasa? Yeah, Mikasa would probably be the one to get a Green Lantern ring. Second question. Who would win in a fight between Mikasa and Black Widow? I'm going to give it to Widow because she's older and has more experience. Plus, she's fought the things like demons and gods and other things. Mikasa's tough, but she, Black Widow was literally trained from the age of, 13 to be a master assassin? Yeah, I gotta give it to her. What would happen if Saber from Fate's Day Night got summoned to the Attack on Titan universe? Some Titans are going to meet their death at the hands of Excalibur. That's what's going to happen. Parachan G. Nitwit asks, if you ever get the chance to read the manga, and I won't spoil this, since Season 2 covers the stuff from the manga and whatnot, do you think Hajime Ishiyama's art style has improved over time, and if so, what do you think of his manga so far? I haven't read the manga, so I couldn't tell you, sadly. Alright. A lot of people like to think characters like Mako and others used as a meme due to his Half-Life 3 effect. Do you think some of that is headcanon? I totally forget the I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. Alright, third question. And speaking of Mina Carolina, she was that one chick who was killed off by the internet famous guy, Moe Titan. She was also Anne's friend and seemed like the one who... Did that happen? Because again, I haven't read the manga, so I can't really give you an answer. Honestly, I can't give you an answer on any of this, unfortunately. I should have been a little more clear, and this is more of my fault than anything else. I should have said I only watched the anime, so I've only got one season of Attack on Titan. I haven't been watching the manga, so unfortunately none of this can really help me, so sorry. Sorry about that, nitwit. Anyway, moving on. Predator Warrior 18, who asks, there's been an argument between fans on whether or not the Titan trio, the Colossal, Armored, and Female Titan, are evil. Some say that they are not, and that they are either being forced into doing what they're doing, that or Aaron and the other members of the Survey Car are more evil. I don't know, really, because it just seems like, why are you doing this? Why are you just wiping out humanity if you're Titans? If you're like Aaron, why are you doing this? Why are you letting, human race get it wiped out? There's no I want to know motivation. That's the thing. I want to know what is the motivation for those characters. Second question. Which of these guys do you think the Attack on the Titan trio would be afraid of most? Vader, Predator, Jason, or either one of the Fets? Vader, no doubt. Vader. If Godzilla was an Attack on Titan universe, how would you have him kill the colossal armored and female Titan? Well, he pretty much towers over them, so one blast of... he'd probably vaporize the female and armored Titan in one hit, and then proceed to rip the colossal Titan a new one, just with his bare claws. Anyway, thank you for those questions. Predator Warrior 18, moving on now to Venom Rules All, who asks, how would Spider-Man be affected in the Attack on Titan world? Well, we kind of saw a glimpse of that when when Marvel did their crossover with Attack on Titan, and we got to see him fight some Titans alongside the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. There was only one issue out, and I don't know if it's ever been continued. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. We've already seen that. Second question: if Punisher knew Annie was the female Titan and had her at gunpoint, do you think he could bring himself to kill a 16-year-old girl? Absolutely. Punisher, especially the Punisher Max version, is very much ends justify the means. And if he found out this woman was a threat, bang, that'd be it. How would Batman be affected by the Attack on Titan world? He'd be asking, "Where's Martha? Where's Martha and Rachel? Oh, they got eaten by Titans. Shit." In all seriousness, though, I think he would be like, I need prep time. Done. I can't even do the Batman tone because I make it sound like the X-Men theme. Anyway. So thinking of those questions, Venom Rules All, moving on now to Nicholas Harley, who asks, what do you think are the Titans' origins since they're still a mystery? No idea. How does, giant naked monster men just pop out of nowhere is my question. That doesn't just happen overnight. Was it an experiment? I don't know. Do you think that Rose and the other gems fought against the Titans in the past since we've seen Earth during the Rebellion? That'd be kind of cool, honestly. That'd be kind of awesome. What is the moment in the anime that made you go, fuck yeah? That first appearance of Aaron as the Rogue Titan. That was just, that whole scene of him just punching away and even, Luth getting munched on by the other smaller Titans. And then he just goes completely ham on everybody else. That was so good. And then that final fight between Aaron and Annie in their Titan forms was also pretty fucking epic. Anyway. Sorry, I had to get some water. Thinking of those questions, Nicholas Harley, moving on now to Fox Mulder, who asks, Iron Giant versus Colossal Titan, who wins? I'm guessing Iron Giant with all the weapons out. Gotta give it to the Iron Giant. The Avengers are in the Attack on Titan universe. What would it be like for them? Well, again, they already crossed over in the Attack on Titan crossover with the Marvel Universe in that free comic book day special. So yeah, and they pretty much took care of all the Titans. They pretty much wiped them out. Third question. Aaron and Armin are put in control of a Jaeger from Pacific Rim. How many Titans do get their shit wrecked? A lot. But I would imagine Aaron and Mikasa would probably be more compatible. I feel like, yeah, Aaron and Mikasa would be a bit more compatible for a Jaeger. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Fox. Moving on now to Travis Rendon, who asks, if you were a Titan shifter, what would be your Titan form look like, and what kind of special abilities would you have? Probably make like a giant bat Titan, like something like a bat-like Titan. I don't know, a flying Titan. Just be like, oh, there's a wall, wings out, da-da-da, smorgasbord. Alright. If Aaron and Mikasa were to hook up at the end of Attack on Titan, would that be okay? Yeah, I'd be fine with it, but again, this is, Attack on Titan is a lot like Walking Dead, where everything that can go wrong does go wrong. So I have this weird feeling that like Mikasa's going to like sacrifice herself because she's like in some cases it's almost like she's borderline suicidal / yandere for for Eren. Why did the name get away from me? Sorry, I got a headache. But yeah, I have a feeling like Mikasa's going to die somewhere towards the end of the manga or anime. Anyway, third question: what other weapons could you think of that the people in Attack on Titan universe could be used besides swords? You said scythes, and that would be cool. And they do have muskets and rifles and cannons, but those do a lick of shit against these things because they can regenerate. I don't know, giant crossbows? Yeah, or how about crossbows and strike at the nape of the neck or something like that? I don't know. Or why don't you just carry, like, I know if you can aim at the nape of the neck, just give them, like, I know they can only use like flintlock pistols or, muskets. Why not give your Survey Corps not just swords, but also, firearms, so when they land on the nape of the neck, they can just fire away there, if that's the weak spot. Anyway. Think of those questions, Travis. Moving on now to Chris Haddock, who asks, could you see the Titans be part of Uari in the world of Sega Classic Golden Axe? Never played Golden Axe, so I can't answer that, Chris. What would the BFG and his neighbors in Giant Country think of the Titans? Haven't seen BFG or read the book, so can't tell you on that one. Could have the smaller Titans make a custom ladder of their bodies and to peer or crawl over the wall in the beginning. No, but that would have been funny as hell to see. Just kind of like in doing like a World War Z kind of thing. Like they're all just trying to climb up the wall like little ants. Or they're like trying to body surf their way up the wall. That'd be hilarious as shit to see. It'd just be like, come on guys, we're almost at the top. No, Jerry, I told you to flex before I told you guys to stretch. Now we gotta get pogo sticks. Now you're all just imagining pogo titans. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Chris Haddock. Sorry for the other two questions, but I've never seen or played those read or played those things. But, yeah, thank you regardless, Chris. Moving on now to Jackie Lee, who asks, do you think Eren should be more calmer, wiser, and more mature character instead of being this anxiety and emo who uses his Titan form powers sometimes? Yeah, I wish he was. But nope, he's just gonna keep bullhorning into situations, isn't he? Second question. What if the Titans survived and evolved, even the shifters, over the past 100 or 1,000 years in the future? What are your thoughts? Then there would be no humans. If the Titans keep going the way they are, there'd be no humans left. What if Eren's father injected the Titan serum into him when he was a baby, and would he be able to learn to adapt with his powers even more than he has in the manga or anime? I think the Titan, if he was injected with it as a kid, as a newborn, it probably might have killed him. Anyway. So thank you for those questions, Jackie Lee. Moving on now to Andrew Varney, who asks, Colossal Titan versus Sans, Papyrus, Undyne, Fisk, and Flowey from Undertale. All as a team. I think they could take him. I think all of them could take him, especially Flowey if he's in his that monster form he has. And then you have Sans, who's obviously incredibly powerful. So, yeah, I think they could take him. All right, the TARDIS stops by and the Doctor meets the Survey Corps. How does our favorite Time Lord react to giant man-eating titans? Scared as hell and probably trying to find a way to kill them all. Third question. How might the following characters react to the Titans? Starring Marco, Stephen and Connie, Abridged Goku, Dr. Alphys, Majin Buu, Finn and Jake, and Tommy Oliver. I think they could all take some Titans. I think they could take on some Titans. Alright, thank you for those questions. Moving on now to Mitch Meister, who asks, are you excited about the upcoming Season 2 of Attack on Titan? Absolutely! We've been waiting for it for what, 4 years? Almost 4 years now? Feels like, yeah, almost 4 years. Or, wait. Yeah, for almost 4 years now, so, goddammit, I want my Attack on Titan. Second question. Do you think Season 2 will be the season that wraps up the story, or do you see a possible Season 3 in the future? I don't know. I would like to see a Season 3, but I don't want to wait for it, and I don't want to see another 2 seasons then wrap, 2-season wrap. I've seen that enough with Disney shows. I don't want that in my anime as well. So, how about we do it? Just give me one more season. Alright, I'll say that much. Third question. Attack on Titan has been called Japan's Walking Dead. Do you agree, disagree, and why? I kind of agree with that, because, yeah, it does kind of deal with the human element, and you do have monsters, but the monsters are sometimes not the big issue. But while at the same time they are, it's weird. And you do have characters that are completely destroyed by this new world, and they have to fight their way through it constantly. And also, yeah, it's become an overnight hit, just like The Walking Dead, because in Japan, in their Universal, there's an entire area dedicated to Attack on Titan, just like there is one for Evangelion. I don't know the other ones, though. Anyway, so thank you for those questions. Mitch Meister, moving on now to Nolan Uno, who asks, what do people do if the Titans were replaced with dinosaurs? Probably be easier to kill. What other monsters would fit into the Attack on Titan universe? I don't know, maybe the Gauss? Just be the same thing, but with wings. If you could rebuild the wall with any kind of technology, how would you do it? Giant electric fence. Anyway. Thank you for those questions, Nolan. Moving on now to Fran Zamor, who asks, what would Wander and Lord Hader's reaction be to ever meeting the Titans? Wander would try to be friends with them, and Hader would try to conquer them, and they'd both be eaten. Alright? What would the colonial marines from Aliens think of the Titans? Game over, man! Game over! That's all I need to say on it. Out of all the Attack on Titan characters that died, which one was your favorite? I don't know. I tend to forget their names at some points. Yeah. What was the guy who got eaten by the Leaping Titan? I forget. Yeah, he was all full of confidence, and then, yeah, chomp. Anyway. So, thank you for those questions, Fran. Moving on now to Wolfman the Impaler, who asks, the Gauss appear outside the wall and eat all the Titans. How does the Survey Corps react? Oh, right, monsters that can eat Titans! Wait, why are they flying over the wall? Oh my god! Second question. The Titans appear in One Punch Man universe. How long does it take for them to beg to go back to their universe? With one punch. Like, it would be the Colossal Titan who attacks first, who attacks Shitama first, and then he'd just be like... And when the Colossal Titan goes down, the rest of the Titans are like, oh, fuck. Alright. You, along with Robbie from Gravity Falls and Chloe from Miraculous Ladybug, are chased by a Titan, and you can only trip one over to get eaten before getting to safety. Who do you leave to get eaten? I'd probably throw pull some magical tacks out of my pocket and throw it on the ground, let them fall on the tacks, and let the Titans eat them both. Cheating on the question, I know, but whatever. Anyway. So, thank you for those questions, Wolfman. Moving on now to Shockwave Spider, who asks, if you were a Titan, what kind of Titan you'd be? I already answered this one. If Aku had the Titans go up against Samurai Jack, how would Jack fight them? Well, he can jump good. Remember that episode? So yeah, we've seen the dude fight giant monsters before, so this would be no different. Can you explain to me what Attack on Titan is about? Like I said before, it's giant humanoid monsters who tear down walls, and people jump around like Spider-Man to fight them. There you go. There's my explanation. So there you go. Thank you for those questions, Shockwave. Moving on now to Spawn117, who asks, who is your favorite character from Attack on Titan? I don't really have a favorite character, per se. I don't really have a character to root for. Except that woman with the goggles. Yeah, that one. The girl with the goggles. What's her name? The professor. Yeah, her. But the thing is, like, you always have a fear of, like, I can't root for these. I can't be invested in these. It's like Game of Thrones. I can't be morally invested in these characters too much out of fear of them dying. Second question: what would happen if Mechagodzilla 3, Gypsy Danger, and Ava Unit 1 got transported to the Attack on Titan universe? The Titans would be running. The Titans would be running the other way. Third question, have you read these fanfics? Attack on Vader, Attack on Titan, Spartan Assault, and Attack on Ruby. I've heard of Attack on Vader. I've heard it's really good. And I think I've given a few looks at Attack on Titan, Spartan Assault, and those were pretty interesting. Not so much Ruby, though. The Ruby one, because I haven't, I can't really give my opinion on the Ruby one, though. Alright. So think of those questions. Spawn. Moving on now to Brian Cam, who asks, bang, marry, kill, Mikasa, Annie, or Krista? Kill Annie, because I know she can turn into a Titan. What was I going to say? I guess...
I'll take care of it.
I don't know. Sorry for the background noise. I guess Krista, Mary, and bang. No, that sounds wrong on both accounts. I guess I don't know. You got me in a bind here. So anyway, moving on. Second question: Titans invade the world of Code Geass. Who has a better chance at winning? The Holy Britannian Empire or the Black Knights of both? Of both sides. Yeah, Britannia's got some cool mechs and shit, so I think they can hold their own. Alright, third question. Who's more funny and crazy and why? Sasha or Hanji? Oh, there's the character I was thinking of, Sasha! Yeah, gonna go with Sasha. Alright, MB Free asks, how would you feel if the Titans fight the Greek Titans and Fenrir the Wolf and the Frost Giants of monster mythology? Again, Titans get wrecked. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. I know I keep saying that the Titans would lose every giant monster fight, but the thing is they're just giant... Aside from a few of the unique Titans, they're just like a bunch of mindless giant monster men. When you look at the other Kaiju we've seen and the destructive power they have, yeah, the Titans kind of fall very short in comparison, don't they? Anyway, so moving on now to the but thank you for the question, MB3. Moving on now to Omnitron12345, who asks, do you think Attack on Titan is more or less a modern take on Jack the Giant Killer? Yeah, a little bit. If Eren did not become a Titan, what other creature would you see him turning into? How about a giant kaiju, a giant, I don't know, sloth? That'd be funny. Him fighting Titans be like, damn you. Aside from the Titans, what else could you see pushing humanity to the brink of, in the Attack on Titan universe? Gauss. The Gauss would be probably it. Anyway. So, moving right along to the Dylan Malone 14, who asks, now that they did Attack on Titan X Marvel crossover, do you think it could happen again? I'd like to see that. I think that would be a lot of fun. All right. What is your... I already answered the favorite character question. Most savage moment? When those... when the survey... When Eren and the other recruits just jump into battle in the first time, and they just get wasted, more or less. That was pretty savage. Oh yeah, also when the rest of Eren's Levi's team got wiped out by the female Titan. That was also pretty brutal. That was probably... when Levi's team got wiped out by the female Titan protecting Eren. Yeah. Anyway. So... what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Thank you for those questions, Dylan Malone. Moving on now to Son of the Dragon, who asks, how would the characters from RWBY do against the Titans? From what I've seen, they'd probably do very well. From what I've seen of clips and whatnot of Ruby, they probably do well. Second question. Ash Williams ends up in the world of Attack on Titan. What happens? He'd probably be trying to bang Sasha constantly. While at the same time fighting his way out of Titan stomachs constant. Like, I could see him like getting swallowed by a Titan, and then you'd be like, okay, you're gonna get a major stomach ache here. Just turn on that chainsaw and just cut his way out of the Titan's stomach and fall. Yeah. What would happen if Godzilla, Gigan, and the other kaiju showed up? The Titans would leave or be wiped out. That's what would happen. Anyway. So, thank you for this question, Son of the Dragon. Moving on now to Green Flame Dragon 270, who asks, how do the Titans how do the Avas handle the Titans? Just the three of them would probably massacre a whole shitload, so I'd imagine really well. So, thank you for those questions. Moving on now to Andre Partridge, who asks, if Guts and Eren Yeager could meet up one day and start to hang out together, what do you think they'd talk about? Oh, Guts would be like, oh, you think you have problems? Oh, your best friend didn't turn out to be a total asshole, turned into a demon, and then killed all your friends horribly, consumed their souls, and left you for dead. Yeah. Tell me about your problems, right? Oh, you had a shitty childhood? Motherfucker, you don't know. Guts would be like, it would tell Eren, grow up. Second question. Who would win in a three-way fight? Colossal Titan, 2014 Godzilla, or Gypsy Danger? You're gonna have to give it to 2014 Godzilla. He's got the size, he's got the durability, and he can take some pretty fucking horrible punishment. You could probably take on whatever Gypsy's deals out to him. And the Colossal Titan is dwarfed. He's comparatively smaller than Gypsy and Godzilla. Third question. Fuck, marry, kill. Already answered this one. It would probably be banging and marrying Sasha. Just saying. Alright. Thank you for those questions, Andre. Moving on to Cody Bradish, who asks, can't remember if you said this in the past or not, but does the new Godzilla design of Godzilla Resurgence remind you of the Colossal Titan? Not really. Not really at all. Anyway, second question. Which one of the human 7 from the Equestria Girls do you think would last longest in a Titan attack? Maybe Sunset, because she's the smartest of the group? Also, probably the most... Yeah, I'd have to put my money on Sunset. Third question. How many seasons do you think and want Attack on Titan anime to go? Well, I doubt, depending on how good, considering the animation is completely amazing, I would venture a guess that it would probably only get 1 or 2 more seasons, 5 at best. And remember, we've had to wait a long-ass time for, season 2 as it is. So, I would imagine it would either be 1 more at least 2 seasons more after season 2, or 3 at best. I'd be surprised if they went further than that, because that animation is probably very expensive. Anyway. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, moving on now to the Kane Matters show, who asks, what if the Titans existed in Walking Dead? Zombie Titans is something I don't want to think about. Second question. How terrifying would these types of Titans be? Xenomorph Titan, Kanbei Titan, Hulk Titan, Skrull Titan, and Terminator Titan. Wouldn't the Terminator Titan just be a giant robot then? Just saying. But no, they'd all be pretty bad. On a scale of 1 to 1,000, it'd be 1,001. Alright, thank you for that question. Moving on now to Red Thunder Dragon, who asks, the Titans attack the Ultraman universe. How fast do the Titans get wrecked? 5 minutes into getting wrecked. Alright, moving on now to Matt Kaiser08, who asks, aside from Godzilla, what other Toho Kaiju would you think would be an equal match for the Titans? Gamera. Definitely Gamera. He's already, and they wouldn't have to worry about with Godzilla, where Godzilla would probably turn on them. Gamera would just be like, up, up, and away! Alright. Attack on Titan War of the Gargantuas crossover. How would you do it? Maybe have Gyra and Sanda, awoken during the events of the first Titan invasion, and have them be like, ooh, Gyra would be like, ooh, people, Titans, and Sonda would be like, people need my help. Oh no, Titans! But of course, Gyra and Sonda would probably buddy up to fight some Titans. Anyway. Alright. Predator versus Titan. Who wins? Well, it'd probably need more than one Predator, but I think they could pull something off. So thank you for those questions. Moving on now to 25 Kid, who asks, would Levi be a good apprentice for Batman or Ra's al Ghul? I think they would on either ground. Probably, Batman, but then he'd be like, oh no, I have to kill these things. Alright. Who would win the three-way monster battle? Godzilla, Rogue Titan, or Colossal Titan? Godzilla on both accounts. Size, power, and just sheer monstrosity. If Mr. Sinister had the DNA of Titans, what horrible things would he do? I shudder to imagine him mixing Titan DNA with Cyclops' DNA. I would rather not think of that. Alright. Which moment of the shitty live-action movies made you angry? The reveal that not Levi was Armored Titan, or all the Mikasa stuff, or all the Mikasa stuff. The whole movie made me angry, because that was pretty terrible, on all accounts. Just completely, utterly horrible. And it made me a little worried about Shin Gojira. Anyway. Which universe would you rather live in? Attack on Titan or Berserk? Well, Attack on Titan, you have to constantly watch your back. At least in Berserk, you have a little peace and quiet. So, maybe Berserk. What's your favorite ship on Attack on Titan? I really don't have one, unfortunately. I really do not have one. Alright. And I think that's all the questions. I think, at least as far as I'm seeing, guys, as far as I see, these are the only questions I can see on my list. I guess if there were any others, they were marked as spam, and I do apologize for that. Once again, I apologize if any of this was marked as spam, so sorry about that. But yeah, that's YouTube's fault, not mine. So, but I do apologize regardless if I was not able to answer your questions. But yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and sorry about if the mic sounded a little messed up. Again, it gets pretty fucking hot in my room, so I had to leave the fan on if I was going to do this whole Q&A. But once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.